Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. How many of you would trust Dr. Anthony Fauci's medical advice? Yes, Dr. Anthony Fauci, the one that decided to make up a lot of the COVID-19 pandemic rules and regulations and so-called guidelines that didn't actually work. They weren't really effective. And Anthony Fauci really admitted that he made a lot of them up, as a lot of other so-called medical professionals were doing during that period of time. It was really a tragic set of circumstances for a lot of people, even here in Australia. Believe it or not, if you are unvaccinated or you didn't have a mask on, the virus is so evolved that it knows exactly that you're not vaccinated, as well as whether or not you've got a mask on or not. It knows. It's hunting for those people that are unvaccinated, according to Anastasia Palaszczuk, who was the former Premier of Queensland in Australia. She said that the virus is hunting for you unvaccinated people. I just could not believe it. Like the level of absurdity that actually went on during the pandemic is only now starting to be realized by a lot of people. But during the whole absurdity that was going on, people were just going along with it. They're going like, oh, she'll be right, mate. They wanted to believe that the government and the so-called medical professionals knew exactly what the hell they were doing. But in reality, they had no idea what the hell they were doing. In fact, they made it worse, significantly worse for everybody. They didn't listen to people like Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, for example, who knew exactly what to do. But no, can't listen to Dr. Jay Bhattacharya. He's in fact a misinformation spreader, disinformation spreader, even though he is a prestigious doctor and scientist. Much rather listen to the insane ones like Dr. Anthony Fauci, for example, who is responsible for the deaths of thousands, if not millions of people in America and more than likely around the world, because a lot of people were looking to Dr. Anthony Fauci, what he actually said during his term being the so-called I am the science person. A lot of people were looking to him and saying, oh, what do you think, Mr. Science? I couldn't believe it when Dr. Fauci actually said that he is the science. Like, wow. I've seen quite a lot of videos of Dr. Fauci. It's just like the guy can't seem to shut up at all. Like, he just continues to talk. He loves to talk. And the more he talks, the more he opens his mouth, the worse it gets for him. And recently he went on, I think it was CBS News, and for some reason, he decided to say this, right? So, as we know, the Biden versus Trump first debate was an absolute disaster for Biden. You could see the shocking decline in Biden's speech patterns and Biden's mental clarity. And Biden said the other day that he's not being forced out. He's not going anywhere. No one's going to move him at all. Unbelievable. So we all know that Biden is in quite sharp decline, but according to Mr. Science or Dr. Science, Dr. Fauci, there's nothing wrong with Biden at all. And you can't really judge a person's medical conclusions at all. You can't really judge how they act or what they've got going on with them by 90-minute debate, where literally during that entire 90-minute debate, the guy could put hardly two words together in a sentence that made any sense. The whole world saw it. The Democrat Party saw it. But do they really care? Nah. Dr. Science, Dr. Fauci believes that there's nothing wrong with Biden. Have a watch of Dr. Fauci spread more lies. Here we go.
Looked like a bad night because my interaction with him was what I described in the book and what happened even subsequent to what I described in the book after I got out. He's very probing in his questions, very analytical, very calm about things. When you go into brief him, Major, you better really know your topic because he's going to ask you very relevant questions. And he's very reflective on things and just doesn't jump out with conclusions or anything, but is very analytic. So my interactions with him, I have to say, have been very, very positive.
Did you see the debate?
I did.
Did anything about that what you saw medically alarm you?
I can't say. I think it would be inappropriate to say that, Major, because when you're just looking at someone on a one-shot basis, you just don't know what could happen. Did he have a bad cold? Did he take an antihistamine to make him, groggy or what have you? We don't know what went on, and I think it would be unfair and inappropriate to try and diagnose something from just a 90-minute clip.
On the subject of asking relevant questions, when Dr. Fauci, or I'll just call him Fauci, when Anthony Fauci is asked rather probing questions, good questions that everyone is actually wondering about what is the answer to them, Dr. Fauci doesn't seem to have a good answer for any of them. In fact, Fauci believes that he's in fact a victim in all of it. People are attacking Fauci and his family and things of that nature. Not for the fact that Fauci is responsible for gain-of-function research in China or virus itself, which more than likely Fauci has a great deal of responsibility for. No, let's not talk about that at all. And it looks as if Fauci is going to see no jail time at all. There's going to be no responsibility, no accountability held on his part. No, he's just fine sitting back in retirement and still being asked to do interviews for some reason on CBS and many other networks that want Fauci. Of course, you have Democrats that give him softball questions to make it out like Fauci is still the god of science, so to speak, or that Fauci is the master of science and everyone needs to go to Fauci for the answers to all science's questions somehow. It's really pathetic, if you ask me. But alas, people are so delusional they think Joe Biden is cognitively with it. And if you've got a actual, I hate the fact that I'm saying this, but when you have an actual doctor like Fauci saying, oh, there's nothing wrong with Biden at all, when everyone in the rest of the world that has a brain on them and no PhD or medical degree can actually see that there is something definitely not right with Biden. But everyone just loves to gaslight you, especially the likes of Fauci, because Fauci apparently knows better. Fauci knows more than you, evidently. And Fauci would love you to believe that Biden is very probing, very analytical in his questions. So you can't really judge his cognitive ability on 90 minutes of a debate. Really, Fauci? Really? So what you saw in that 90 minutes, so if I had have gone up there and done the exact same thing as Biden at my age, would you say, oh, Jay was just nervous? He wasn't able to make heads or tails of anything that he was saying. But we can't judge Jay on his cognitive ability, number one, because of his age. Number two, because, well, it's 90 minutes. So there's not enough time to really gather whether or not Jay's brain is actually with it or not, or there's anything wrong with him. He could be sick. He could just be having an off day, even though I can't make heads or tails of two words to put into a sentence. And if I keep doing that at my age, I would be worried. I would be very concerned with myself at my age, 27, at a debate stage, not being able to put two sentences together. I mean, sometimes I get really worried that sometimes, like, I know that I don't have it, but still, if I can't make sense of something, I'm going, why can't I make sense of it? I'm 27, for goodness sake. Biden is in his 80s, I think. Somewhere there in his 80s. He's old. Compared to my brain, his brain, I guarantee you there's a very distinct difference. But Fauci's like, nah, he's fine. He says cold medicine might be at fault. Yeah, so that means they didn't give him the right kind of medicine to prop him up. But we're constantly seeing this trend. Recently, for the 4th of July celebrations, happy 4th of July for my American friends. I believe it was Jill Biden or something. Happy 4th of July. And Biden goes, ho, ho, ho. You can't make this stuff up. You can't. It's an absolute show, man. It's a crap show that's happening right before our very eyes. And you have people that don't believe that Biden is not cognitively there. But anyway, keep gaslighting the American people. See how that ends up for you. Guarantee not very well. Anyway, my friends, you take care. You be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.